Hi everyone. Sail here. Hi everyone. Shit. Hi everyone. Sailor Mercury, Sailor Quicksilver, Amy here, and Sailor Mars, Sailor Red World, Ray here. And today we're going to talk about why folks hate the Dic And Cloverway Sailor Moon so much, or at least why they hate the Dic one. Now, we know the Dic one, Dic got the rights in 9 between 94 YL, but didn't broadcast it until 9 between 95 YL on UPN and WB and Fox. And then again on USA in 9 between 97 YL. And then again on Cartoon in 9 between 98 YL. After that, Cloverway ended up getting the rights to do Sailor Moon, and they handled it, and it ran on Cartoon Folkwork. Starting, Cloverway got the rights in 9 between 99 YL, but didn't broadcast it until 2000 YL on Cartoon. Now, a lot of folks have said a lot of things about, a lot of folks have said a lot of things about the Dic And Cloverway Sailor Moon. About how, they didn't stay trusted to the show. How they either, were shifting borrowed names out for other borrowed names, Well, first off, what I say about that is bullshit. Why make a big deal about borrowed names? I mean, why make a big deal about, about names being borrowed out for other names? It pisses them off that, oh no, they didn't have their Dawnish borrowed names. Instead of having their Dawnlandish borrowed names, they have Hellenish, Hebrewish, Farsius, Latinus, Frenchish, Spanish, borrowed names. Names that folks speaking English would have known because English borrowed more from those speeches and borrowed more names from those speeches than they did from the Dawnish speech. It's true. I'm sorry. And then having folks getting irked or angered over it being in English. I mean, yeah, there are some folks in the Sailor Moon followership who are irked that Dic And Cloverway put it in English. All right, a lot of folks in North Vinland, mostly the 4-1 Reichs in the settled land, speak English. All right. So very few of them, if they speak a two-disc speech, I don't really think Dawnish would have been that two-disc speech. So maybe you folks growing up and 9 between 95 YL were speaking more than one speech. While most folks living in the settled land and 4-1 Reichs were speaking English, so I'm sorry it's in English. Get over yourselves. And then, well, then another thing. Can I go on now, Sailor Mars? Oh, yeah. Thank you. All right, thank you, Sailor Mercury. Another thing that some of these folks bitch about, or they don't like, if it wasn't names being shifted out for other borrowed names being shifted out for other borrowed names, they didn't bitch about how the on-street folks were handled. Well, first off, and we went over this many times, folks, the mindset and stand of on-straight folks and children, film shows, plays, drawing shows, was a no-no. Back then, if you had any selves that were unstraight in a film show or play or a drawing show or a drawing film for children, that was a no-no. You couldn't do it. So that's why Dic And Cloverway had to shift out Zoisite and make her a woman. That's why Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus, also Sailor Skyworld, Sailor Neptune, Sailor SeaWorld had to become nearkin. And that's why Fisheye became a woman. Now, nowadays, the mindset, the stand, and the standard is not the same anymore. Most folks are more trusting and more trusting of it, and more open-minded to it, and are more, willing to get along and, show onlook and trust and kindness to folks who are unstraight, and folks learning what it means to be unstraight. And nowadays, if you don't have someone in your show that's unstraight in some way, on your drawing show, a film show or play, or drawing show or drawing film for, you get scathed. So it's the other way around these days. And I think, and keep in mind, Dawnland, and keep in mind, I think that Zoisite and Fisheye and Sarah Uranus, also known as Sailor Skyworld, Sailor Neptune, known as Sailor SeaWorld, got handled more kinder than than we'll say other folks that may have had Sailor Moon back in the day. So I think Dic and Cloverway did what they thought they could do. And that's what you folks are still irked about to this day over that. And if you're not irked over the names being shifted or how the unstraight were handled, another thing that kind of pisses you off or irks you over the Dic and Cloverway Sailor Moon is skipping followings. Now, first off, I don't know why some of the followings of the first following of Sailor Moon, a lot of them were skipped over, and how only 2 or 3 of them were skipped in a 2-diff following. I don't know why, but they were. And the things that were cut out was some fighting, some wrestling, some curse words, and some things that Dic and Cloverway felt would not be right for folks in a settled land and the 4-1 rights to be watching if they were watching Sailor Moon then. Now, at the end of the day, Dic and Cloverway Sailor Moon might not be everyone's cup of water, or cup of drink, or a cup of pop, or whatever. It might not be. Not everybody's going to like it. I get that. But it's not some kind of sin against drawing shows and drawing films from Dawnland. Can I go back, Sailor Mars? Well, all right. Thank you, Sailor Mars, Sailor Red World. Anyway, you're right, Sailor Mars. I mean, at the end of the day, Dic Sailor Moon, Cloverway Sailor Moon, yes, there were a lot of things about them some folks didn't like. That's true. But are not completely some sin against a drawing show. I mean, you folks behave as if, you folks like to look back at in the past and wish that the past was like the now. Well, sorry, the past couldn't be like the now, and you should be thankful that you got your Viz Sailor Moon. So you can stop sobbing and bitching and ranting about the Dic and Cloverway Sailor Moon of yesteryear. Now, before I'm going to leave you with one little thing here. Dic Sailor Moon and Cloverway Sailor Moon were handled in the way of the time. The Walt Disney business, which owned Dic at the time, Disney owned Dic at the time, so Disney and Dic made what shifts they thought they had to do to Sailor Moon to keep it so no one would get irked or angered over it, and they would lose their time. They would lose UPN and WB and Fox and USA and Cartoon. Cloverway, whoever owned them, did the same thing so they wouldn't lose Cartoon or lose YTV in the settled land. If you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Don't forget to watch the film that we made later this morning, when Sailor Venus and Artemis did their film. And don't forget to share, thumb up, and playlist this film. And if you're not followed to us, welcome, do so by hitting that bind and that ringer. so we know when the next upload, live stream, or short's been done. I, Sailor Mercury, Sailor Quicksilver Amy, and I, Sailor Mars, Sailor Red World Ray, and we'll see you later.